Hey guys, Chris here. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to look at the top 10 most streamed bands of all time on Spotify. But before we get started, don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell to get more videos like this. So I was watching a video the other day on Rick Beato's channel where he talks about the disappearance of bands from modern music. Rick has his own theories on that. If you haven't seen the video, check it out. But it got me thinking, I wonder what the top 10 most streamed bands of all time are on Spotify. Basically, I was able to find a list of the top artists of all time based on streaming numbers, and I've been able to pull out the bands from that list and create a top 10. And honestly, I was really surprised to see who was on the list. There are some bands in the list where you would think, yep, that makes sense. And then there's others that where you go, I didn't realize. And obviously the data is always changing, so the data is based on the date of this video. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video because I think you'll be surprised at who the number one spot belongs to. So without further ado, let's start. Okay, so kicking it off at number 10, you've got the band One Republic with 15.9 billion streams. So One Republic are a band that was started in 2002. They've got a pop rock vibe, but their most streamed songs on Spotify are Counting Stars with 2.6 billion streams and I Ain't Worried with 1.7 billion streams. Moving on to number 9, you've got the Red Hot Chili Peppers with 16.1 billion streams. Now, I was quite surprised to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers in the top 10. I've known of the band, I love the band, but when you talk top 10 streamed bands, especially in this day and age, I wouldn't have expected to see Red Hot Chili Peppers in there. But good on them. I love them. They're a great band. Their most popular stream songs are Californication with 1.4 billion streams. You've also got Under the Bridge at 1.4 billion streams, and the song Can't Stop is at 1.3 billion. Moving on to number 8, you've got the band 21 Pilots with 17 billion streams. But their most streamed song is called Stressed Out with 2.4 billion streams. Then you got Heathens at 1.8 billion. And the song Ride has got 1.8 billion streams as well. So moving on to number 7 now, you've got The Beatles with 20.1 billion streams. You would probably expect to see The Beatles in the top 10 most streamed bands on Spotify. Their song Here Comes the Sun has the most streams and that's got 1.4 billion. Let It Be has 724 million and the song Yesterday has 689 million. They've only got one song in the billion streams mark, but I would say the catalogue of Beatles songs being so popular as it is, a lot of the songs would be in the million stream mark, hence making up that 20.1 billion streams. Moving on to number 6, you've got a band called the Arctic Monkeys at 20.2 billion streams. I've got to say, I was a little surprised to see the Arctic Monkeys in the list. I don't know a lot about the Arctic Monkeys, but when I think top 10 of all time, they just don't come into my mind, but they definitely have the numbers on their songs. Their most streamed song is called I Wanna Be Yours with 2.4 billion streams. Then you've got Do I Wanna Know at 2.3 billion streams, and the song called 505 with 1.8 billion streams. Moving to number 5 now, you've got Linkin Park with 20.6 billion streams. Linkin Park's most streamed songs is the song called In the End with 2.2 billion streams, and then you got the song Numb with 1.8 billion streams. Moving on to number 4, you've got the band Queen with 23.4 billion streams. Queen are obviously an iconic and legendary band, but they've done really well to reinvent themselves through the movies that they've released over the past decade. Their songs have become popular again, and their most streamed song, no surprises there, is Bohemian Rhapsody with 2.5 billion streams. You got Don't Stop Me Now with 2 billion streams, and then you got Another One Bites the Dust with 1.9 billion streams. Moving on to number 3 now, you've got the band Maroon 5 with 27.6 billion streams. Their most streamed song is the song Payphone with 1.9 billion, the song Maps with 1.8 billion, and then you've got Moves Like Jagger with 1.5 billion. Okay, now we're down to the top 2 bands that are most streamed on Spotify of all time. Number 2 is the band Imagine Dragons with 31.9 billion streams. Their most streamed song is the song Believer with 3.1 billion streams. Thunder is next with 2.4 billion streams. And then you got Demons with 2.4 billion streams as well. And in fact, the 5 songs that you see on the Spotify list there, which are the most popular, they're all in the billions of streams. All right, so we're down to number 1 now. So just before we announce number 1, a special mention to Metallica. Metallica was number 11 on the list. They had 13.6 billion streams, with their top songs being Enter Sandman with 1.4 billion streams, Nothing Else Matters with 1.2, and Master of Puppets with 911 million streams. But the number one band, should we do a drum roll? Here we go. Okay, so the number one band on Spotify that has the most streams of all time is Coldplay with 34 billion streams. Their most streamed song is Something Just Like This with 2.7 billion, Yellow with 2.5 billion, and Viva La Vida with 2.3 billion. Coldplay are a band that have kept themselves relevant over the years. They've changed their sound to fit in with today's more, I guess, electronic feel, and it seems to have paid off with their streaming numbers. They're currently the number one most streamed band on Spotify. But that being said, there was a fair bit of a mix of different bands on that list, some more modern and some more classic. Probably the three bands that would surprise me a fair bit on that list were Red Hot Chili Peppers, Arctic Monkeys, and Linkin Park. I actually like all three of those bands, but just to have them in the top 10 most streamed, I just didn't really put them there in my mind until I saw that list. Especially the Red Hot Chili Peppers. I sort of associate the Red Hot Chili Peppers with, say, Pearl Jam and those sort of bands that, although they've released some really great music since then, I just didn't imagine their streaming numbers would be so high. Wasn't too surprised to see some of the more modern bands like Imagine Dragons, 21 Pilots, Maroon 5. But overall, the whole list actually just completely surprised me. I don't know what I was thinking, but let me know your thoughts in the comments. What bands would you have expected to see in there? And were you surprised at the top 10 as well? Let me know your own personal top 5 bands in the comments. And don't forget to hit subscribe and hit the notification bell for more videos like this. Thanks for sticking around, guys. Catch you on the next video.